And Megyn, within 10 minutes, I fell asleep.
It was so boring.
It's like, I would sooner you really offend me or just like, I love a bad watch.
So it looks like the Duchess of Deflection is in the news again, because Megyn wanted to be Hollywood queen and world saver. But now she is upset at Megyn Kelly for making fun of her Netflix flop. And the funny twist is that Kelly's spoof was way sharper and people liked it more, which is Megyn's biggest fear.
Opening credits when they like freeze frame a person and it's like, Dana Plato is Kimberly on Different Strokes. And it was like Mindy Kaling. And it was
So the drama here is that the parody is actually stealing the spotlight from the real thing. And what we are seeing is not just some celeb fight. It looks more like Megyn brand slowly falling apart because it was built on playing victim and keeping control with a super fragile ego. And instead of just laughing off Kelly's joke, she went straight to her lawyers telling them to warn Kelly that if she dares to mock season 2, she will get sued. But the messy part is in the world of publicity. Going legal over comedy is like pouring gas on a tiny fire and making it explode.
No, it was amazing. Here's actually part of that where Mindy asked her about her look. Or let's watch it stop for, and then we'll get to the big moment.
Megyn, I want to ask about your look.
So instead of putting out the fire, Megyn actually made it blow up even bigger, because by trying to silence Kelly, she guaranteed the whole media would talk about it, and Kelly's parody would get even more hype. This is that classic thing where the harder you try to hide something, the more famous it gets. And Megyn should know better, cause her past fights in court against tabloids, or even random people, usually turned around on her and made her look petty and super thin-skinned.
Sympathy for Mindy Kaling because she was doing such a heavy lift.
Yeah.
I felt like watching this whole thing play out was really interesting in terms of realizing I don't think Meghan Markle really...
So now it looks even worse, because this time Megyn is not fighting over privacy. She's going after a plain joke, and that is where the embarrassment gets too real, because Kelly's spoof of the With Love. Megyn trailer not only made people laugh, it actually got more views, more shares, and more attention than the real Netflix trailer that cost Megyn millions. And when you think about it, the copy ended up beating the original, and the people showed it with their clicks and comments basically saying Kelly's sharp jokes felt newer and more real than what Megyn made.
No, she doesn't. And she is the most insecure person I have seen in the public eye in a long time. That is why everything had to be perfectly curated.
So the wild part is Kelly's spoof wasn't just funny. It was actually more entertaining than Megyn's super staged over-the-top Netflix show. And the comments proved it, because people were not only laughing, they were saying, wow, Kelly got it spot on. This is exactly how Megyn looks. And that kind of raw reaction hurts the most, because it doesn't just clown her project. It clowns her whole image. And the timing tells us everything too, because Megyn started sending those legal threats even before Kelly actually teased anything new.
The biggest absurdity of this whole thing was just how over-the-top perfect everything has to be around her. Her outfit. I mean, who the hell picks fucking berries in a white cashmere blouse and white pants?
So basically, Megyn jumped in with legal threats. Before Kelly even said she would do a season 2 parody, which shows it wasn't a reaction. It was pure fear. Fear that another round of jokes could totally ruin any hope of her Netflix comeback. And fear that people are more excited to see her roasted than to watch her real content. Cause the truth is, Kelly has nailed a type of satire. Megyn can't beat its comedy mixed with real facts, and Megyn knows she can't twist it or cut it out.
And like this garden, which is like the most over the top, like we're all supposed to go, Maureen, to make our breakfast in the morning out to our gardens, which are the size of Shea Stadium, and pick our berries.
So the thing is, Megyn can't fix this with charm talks behind the scenes. And her legal meltdown is not just news. It is making Hollywood roll their eyes. Because insiders say streaming bosses are sick of her control freak ways. Every single project turns into a headache with non-stop script checking, endless editing demands, and constant brand polishing that drags everything down. And in the end, Netflix and the other platforms only care about one thing: if the content actually connects. And right now, the only noise around with Love Megyn is coming from parodies, not real praise.
Berries, or snozberries, and cut our mint, and then cut our flowers that are edible. But don't worry, she's a woman of the people. You can grow those just on your windowsill at home in New York, your edible flowers.
And don't forget your local Wow.
So this whole mess is like a big warning signal for the Hollywood bosses who decide if they even want to give her another season, because they want shows that entertain, not endless drama around ego. And by blowing up over Kelly, she is not just losing the public, she is showing the industry she is too hard to deal with, and Hollywood has a habit of slowly cutting off people who bring more trouble than talent. And the truth is, her image has already been sinking for years, with people raising doubts about her Archwell Foundation.
Because she has a bee hive, which she goes to. That's how they open the whole series with her bees. And like, don't worry, if you don't have this, just go to your local beekeeper, which I Googled. I was like, just for kicks. I'm like, what? Local bee.
So people have already been side-eyeing her, because the money reports from her foundation look fuzzy. The projects never really hit big, and somehow her charity updates always pop up right before she pushes some personal PR move. So when she now threatens to sue a journalist over a silly parody, it doesn't look like class. It just looks like another move to protect her image instead of doing real work. And the thing is, charity scandals are the worst in the eyes of the public, because fans can forgive bad shows. They can even forgive messy fights.
Was the people who will kill bees in my
Oh my God.
Like if you have a beehive and you want to get rid of it, here are like to 20 people who will kill it.
There you go. Absolutely.
Clearly we're living in different worlds.
Do you have a chicken coop?
But when people start thinking your charity stuff is just PR for yourself, then every little fight you start only reminds them of the bigger question: is Megyn really about helping others or just helping herself? And the twist is, there was a time when she had a whole army of media cheerleaders, from magazines to blogs to talk shows, always ready to defend her and spin things as hate or lies. But now that wall of support is falling apart, slowly and quietly, with no fancy press statements to save her.
Oh, just the dead ones in the freezer.
You don't have a chicknick table to feed your chickens. Did you catch that?
Did not catch that.
She literally, Megyn, she has a chicken coop, and she talks, so she brings out.
Her own supporters are quietly walking away. And the reason is simple. Because in the media world, credibility is like money. And standing up for Megyn is just too costly now. Since every time someone tries to defend her, they get hit with fact checks, proof that doesn't match, and viral memes from Kelly's side. So backing her up has turned into a risk nobody wants. And editors and producers care about staying powerful, not going down with someone sinking. And in this industry, silence is the loudest way to turn your back. And that's exactly what Megyn is getting now, from the same outlets that once crowned her.
A thick disc of ice. And inside,
chickens?
Oh yeah, and inside that disc are frozen organic vegetables, which she then puts down for them so that their yolk, she tells them.
If Megyn thought this was just a small fight, she is so wrong, because the polls are showing a rough truth. Her popularity has dropped in both the UK and the US. And the worst part is young people, the very crowd she tried the hardest to win over, are now ignoring her. This is no longer just about royal gossip. It's about people getting tired of the same victim stories. The mixed messages of wanting privacy, but still selling tell-alls, and those Netflix shows that look more like PR ads than real content. And that's exactly why Megyn Kelly's parody hit so hard.
And nutritious. And then the camera pans to a miniature picnic table. It looks like something that would go in a child's dollhouse on the ground. And she says, "Don't laugh at me. That is my chicknick table where I..."
Because what really made Kelly's parody hit was that it played right into the tired feeling people already had. It wasn't just people laughing at Megyn. It was like the audience letting out a sigh of relief, because they were sick of the same polished, sad story. And the scary part for Megyn is Kelly didn't go for silly jokes. She went for sharp ones. Every punchline came from something real, like how Megyn always makes herself the center of everything, the fancy speeches that sound deep but say nothing, and those fake relatable moments that feel totally staged. Kelly basically tore apart the whole formula of her show and showed everyone why it feels so empty.
For the chickens, okay? In this economy.
Right. Well, same thing with her dog and everybody else's dog. The one friend comes, who's Harry's friend's wife from Polo.
Oh.
And the real mess for Megyn is that she can't wave this parody away by calling it sexist or cruel tabloids, because the whole thing was built on her own Netflix show. Nothing was made up. Kelly just flipped the camera back and showed her exactly how it looked. And that's why the crowd loved it so much. Because they were not just laughing, they were nodding along, like, yes, this is exactly what we see. And when the audience starts agreeing instead of just giggling, that is way more dangerous in the court of public opinion. But Megyn fell into her same tired pattern again. She pulled out the lawsuit, threats. She whispered about being unfairly picked on. She tried to paint herself as the innocent victim of another attack, hoping sympathy would drown out the criticism. But that old trick doesn't land anymore. Not because people don't care about unfairness, but cause her stories don't line up. She preaches privacy, then does tell-all specials. She says she hates the tabloid circus, but then sets up paparazzi moments she claims she is targeted. But she constantly fuels the fire with lawsuits and staged headlines. People are seeing through it now, and even the media that once defended her has gone quiet. And Megyn Kelly knew exactly how to poke that soft spot. Her parody was sharp, because it exposed that gap between words and actions. And it showed why people are fed up with the act. And the worst part for Megyn is that no lawyer letter, no PR spin, no glossy Netflix project can erase the fact that the public laughed, agreed, and then moved on with Kelly, not with her. By making fun of Megyn's whole sad poor me tone, Kelly set a trap that Megyn can't really escape from anymore, because the moment she tries to play victim again, it just looks like she's acting out the parody, and that makes her critics look even smarter, since any real reaction now only proves their point. And that's the nightmare situation for someone who built her brand on being seen as misunderstood and unfairly treated. But the really juicy part in this whole drama is Harry staying completely silent, because in the past he was always the first one to rush in to defend her, with big interviews, angry public statements, or even dragging people to court on her behalf. He used to stand right next to her image and fight every single battle. But this time, it is different. This time, there is nothing at all. No tweet, no words, no press comments, no protective husband moment. Not even a tiny hint of support in his public appearances. And that silence feels louder than anything he could have said. In the royal gossip world, silence is never just silence. It always means something, and Harry's quiet act is making everyone wonder. Is he secretly telling Megyn to calm down? Is he embarrassed by how big she blew this up? Or maybe things at home are tense, because these endless fights are draining away the little goodwill they still had left. And if Megyn wanted to show the world that she and Harry are solid, his silence is doing the opposite, cause it makes it look like there are cracks in the Sussex brand itself and in celebrity life. Once your brand starts to break, that is usually the beginning of the end. And here is where it turns darker, cause the buzz in Hollywood is that another project is brewing, one that could make Kelly's parody look soft. And if that comes out, the crowd might not just laugh. This time, they could tear her down in a way she can't control. If you love this deep dive into Megyn and Harry's latest drama, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join the conversation.